We're on.
Hey.
We're live.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
How you doing? All right, so you're going to start us off. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nvidia.
You got to be exciting, though. Come
Woo!
on. There you go.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Sigh.
Nvidia's earnings. But on a positive note, Nvidia beat both on earnings per share and revenue. The stock a little mixed after hours. We're going to take a look at the chart here in just a moment. But before we get too far, put a VV in the comment section if you can hear us, if you can see us. The alert should be kicking any moment. Let me know if the alert works, Joey, or doesn't work.
Who set the alert today?
I did. What is that face for?
Could be questionable.
It could be questionable.
Could be questionable.
Oh, man. But yeah, Nvidia reported out. But there are other companies reporting today. And big news before the close, if you missed it, software stocks now caught in the crosshairs between the AI chip restrictions. When it comes to China, you see Trump ordered halt to China sales. A couple of the companies affected by this. They did take a dip, but both of them are recovering right now. We got Cadence Systems along with Synopsys here. But we do have some other stocks reporting after the bell.
And by the way, we are looking at aftermarket data. So we're watching real time what's going on.
We had Elf Beauty. It pulled its full year 26 guidance, stock down 1.33% right here. Also, we've got Nvidia pops its Q1 results. You see it's down about 0.5%. Guidance tops expectations despite Chinese control.
So the thing about that is that it's probably not going to hit the beat or take the big hit because of China until next quarter. It's going to have to come through at some point in time.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be reflected at some point. But you see, look, revenue surged 69% year over year, coming at $44 billion. On top of that, data center revenue, that's their main component here, jumped 73%.
Still a powerhouse stock.
Still a powerhouse stock. And as we scroll down here, there's a couple other companies. We had Noah Holdings. Where is it? Oh, we'll just jump to this one. We had HP. Look at that, sinking 15% as the company misses on earnings guidance due to added costs from tariffs. And that hasn't been a stock that we've talked about a whole lot.
14.5% down.
But clearly caught in the crosshair when it comes to tariffs here. HPQ taking a big hit after hours. So let's go ahead and jump into the VectorVest 7 system, take a look at some of the semiconductors, some of these other companies that reported today. The semis looking like they're staying in positive territory. TSM slightly in positive. Nvidia looks like it's leading the charge right behind ARM Holdings. And then let's see your Salesforce in positive territory. But look, HP now down 17%. Ooh, that's rough. Synopsys down 8% here.
ASML down, AMD down. I thought AMD would.
Well, AMD's like flat, pretty much. Really hasn't done a whole lot. But yeah, still interesting to see.
Well, we anticipated that Nvidia was going to be top and bottom, and they did. And Ryan's bringing up some graphs. So there it is. Look at that. Now, Nvidia, the move is from the prior day.
Oh. Can you reset the
so
alert?
now you understand why I gave you the look. So that's why we don't have the alert hit. Joey, can you fix that? All right.
Thank you.
Sigh.
Sigh.
Let's wait to set the alert. Right. And now you sit there and you go, why are you looking at me like that? Okay. Now you know. ARM looks good after hours.
And let's
nice
just
move.
scoop this back so we can see more intraday movement. It is at a high. It surpassed its prior high, intraday high here, extended hours coming out on top. We've got AMD. Looks like it's breaking above this channel that we saw it in most of the day here. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor.
Look at that big wick on TSM. That don't look pretty. There it is. Wow, look at that hit. Look at that hit. That's some manipulation. That's people
showing some indecision there.
That's big people getting in and out of that stock. ASML. That's constitution. That's institutional buying. Look at that. Look at that move. Talk about volatility after markets. Look at those moves on those wicks. It is crazy.
Now let's just take a look at regular old Nvidia. Nvidia going positive after the bell here.
And look at the wicks on that candle. We're looking at 1 minute bars, 5 minute bars.
Yeah, those are major wicks on that candle, both to the up and bottom.
That's institutional buying in a big way.
I mean, that bottom wick here, about $100. I see the low price, $98.70. Someone scooped it up, $98.70. And on the top end here, about $176.
That's a huge move. And that's in just the last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the last 10 minutes. Green Dean says, you again? Well, you're here. I'm just saying, you're talking, you again. You tuned in.
You did tune in.
What's your price prediction on Nvidia? Let's go look at it end of day.
Okay.
Man.
That looks nice. 140.51. Breaking out of that consolidation we've seen over the past two trading.
Give me 10% bigger than that. What's 10%?
I think at this rate we could see a new high.
Give me 10%. Calculate that, because I don't know.
10%? It's going to be $14.
All right, so 154. I'm going to say 160. I'm going to give a price target of 160. The stock is way overvalued. There's no... Oh, no. This one came to be undervalued, right?
It's still undervalued.
It's still undervalued.
166.
Look at that. It gave the value. I'm giving a price target of about 160. I'm giving a price target of about 160.
And here's the previous high coming in at 153. And I'm pretty sure that
I'm going $7 higher than the most recent high. All right. So I'm giving. That's just me. That's not a VectorVest thing. That's not a Ryan thing. That is me. Knowing that it's still a powerhouse stock.
That's you doing you?
That's me doing me. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
I like it. Well, it definitely met your buy price of $133.55.
You can't go against it. Mm-mm. And even when it does get hit, this stock is going to be resilient enough, in my opinion, to keep going on. Look at the RT on the stock. Look at the volume on the stock.
Let's add earnings per share. Rising
earnings per share. So, yeah, I'm giving some input, but I think the VectorVest software is backing up. And Janice says it's got a value of 166. I'm not giving it quite to the value because Ryan is always quick to say that value is not a price target, and he's absolutely right. I'm just looking at the move of the stock. I'm looking at the graph. I'm trading the chart. I'm going to give it a price target of 160. And I think it'll blow through it. But I'm giving a conservative price target of 160.
I do think a new high will probably be achieved relatively soon.
Troy says, how quick will Glenn sell his NVDA tomorrow? Let's go to portfolios.
Are you selling it first thing in the morning, or are you going to hold on?
It all depends on when. There's still a whole lot of trading after hours in pre-market. We'll see. NVDA down 2.78%, whereas my NVDL is nicely up.
Right. I just went bullish on good old-fashioned Nvidia.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that. I went the cheap way. I went the cheap way.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And interesting, the NVDA is it's not in an uptrend. I'll probably dump it first thing in the morning. I can't do it now. I'll probably dump it first thing in the morning. It was a hedge against NVDL. That's all it was. All right. Still, right now, I'm up about 0.3%, getting better. Less than 9. Oh, by the way, let's go look at Ryan.
You love.
Look at that. Actually, he's getting better. He is getting better.
Down. Oh, shoot.
Look at your NVDA. Look at that, up 3%. Nice move. That was a nice move.
Taiwan Semi up.
And you got Taiwan Semi.
Just over 0.5%.
All right. No matter how bad that looks, good stock picks.
I think as long as
stock picks.
The tariff news or tariff updates stays pretty minimal right now, I think the market could take this good news from Nvidia's earnings and may have a couple more days of a nice run.
I do not disagree with you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right. Where are we? Let's go to the graphs for Nvidia. What time is it? We still got about... Hey, Joey, let's go see if we can get... Man, I'll do it. I don't need your help.
And Janice, Glenn is extra salty today.
Play lobby music? Yep.
All right. We want some lobby music.
We want some lobby music. So this is the call. Joey's going to make sure that you guys have the volume when it comes up. They make you go through hoops to make sure you can get to hear the call. But we're all set up for it. It's going to come up in about 5 minutes. So we're sitting in the lobby waiting. Mm-hmm. I really want to hear what Jensen Huang, what is his name?
Jensen?
Yeah, Jensen Huang.
You show him Jason?
I don't know what I called him. I don't know. I called him Jensen. I did.
That might be a stretch.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
So, Michelle, we're not going to look at individual stocks during this session. During this session, we're specifically going to listen to the call.
Look at Nvidia.
Look at that. We got almost 300 people here. I'm loving this.
Let's see here. We'll go back to viewers tab here. We've got some of the other semiconductors here. ARM Holdings, Taiwan Semiconductor, ASM, ASML, as well as some other of the big names that reported today. We got Salesforce up 1%. Then we got Synopsys down 8%, HP down 17%. Oof, that's rough for HP.
That is. I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch that with your keyboard.
Don't. My keyboard doesn't want to be touched by you.
I touched it. Don't hit my hand. That's not nice.
Do you like you did that roach?
Why did I talk about that? Joey was hilarious. I wish I could have got that on.
He did scream like a little girl.
He did. He did. Oh my gosh! I wish I could have got that on camera. Oh my goodness!
Hilarious.
Michelle said, "All right, we got to. If it's another chip stock or AI."
Janice, that is not a question. We all know Jensen's going to be wearing his black leather jacket.
Yeah.
He always was.
SMCI
but we're not going to see him because he'll be on just a voice recording.
We're going to put, since that's in the space, I don't think we will bring that up. It is in the space, so it is up as well. Like what, 3%? So there it goes.
I think SOXL. As long as there's some follow through going into tomorrow's market, SOXL is going to benefit from Nvidia's.
That's all the semis, right?
Yeah.
Let's go add that. SOXL is up 2.2%.
There we go.
Can you ask when AI chips will be available to make AI Glenn AI? We could do that right now. Hello, my name is AI Glenn. Tell me what you would like to hear. Okay, AI Ryan is pretty low and not listening today. So, I as AI Glenn will answer all of your questions. Please ask a question so I may answer it. Okay, so John wanted to know when AI Glenn would be here, and he's here, and we can answer the questions together.
Being twitchy just naturally fits you.
Whatever. Whatever. All right, so there was no questions for AI Glenn, so AI Glenn can't answer your question, John. All right, so there we go. What do you think about SOXL due tomorrow? Again, if Nvidia can continue into tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not doing the news. I'm not doing it. You're going to try to get me fired because I'm going to go off on a tangent. I will spit the venom. Do I have to go with news?
What news?
Jazz says, even with the news? I thought you was asking AI Glenn about the news. Nvidia's got good news. We're going to see what's going to happen with
revenue surge, data center revenue surge.
We got to see what's happening with the forward guidance.
Yes.
And Jensen's going to come on. And how do you guys feel about MSOS? I don't know. Again, if it's not a stock that's in this space, we're not going to look at it today.
AI Twitchy Glenn.
We power us. Will AI Glenn be more accurate than AI Google? That is a great question.
Probably not. Let's be honest.
That is a great question. AI Glenn will be 10 times more accurate than AI Google. You know why? Because he's AI Glenn. Ooh-wee.
And Jazz, as far as that news, I did touch on the software aspect. That came out. I put an article in here. I'm not sure if you're tuned in for that. I think it's, here we are. Chip software. There we go. Chip software stocks sink on report. Trump ordered halt to China sales. Cadence and Synopsys saw their shares move lower on a Financial Times report saying a division of the U.S. Commerce Department told them to stop selling to organizations in China. The federal agency warned U.S. companies about using AI intelligence chips from China's Huawei earlier this month. Oh, so does that mean we can't buy chips from Huawei now? They've banned their chips to us too? That's kind of what it's looking like, or sounds like right there.
I don't like Huawei. It's China. It doesn't matter. It does matter.
Need that next taco trade in Simi.
The hell is a taco trade?
I'm curious.
I don't know what
I guess that's where you get to eat? Like make money? I don't know. What's the taco trade?
I'm not going to Taco Bell. You know where I'm going tonight.
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral, baby. Jen's going out for dinner with the girls.
I haven't been to Golden Corral in probably 15 years.
I love me some Golden Corral. Get the bourbon chicken and rice.
You're all about that chocolate fountain, aren't you?
No, there's no chocolate fountain in ours.
Perfect.
They got rid of it. We had too many damn kids putting their hands in.
5, 4,
Okay,
3,
2, 1.
And
let us know if you can hear when Joey puts it on.
Good afternoon.
My
name is Sarah, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to NVIDIA's first quarter fiscal 2026 financial results conference call.
She sounds like an AI
Type
robot.
in the room
All
if you
lines
can
have
hear
been
it.
placed
No
on mute
sound.
to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star 1 on your telephone keypad.
I wonder if we
If
can
you would
ask
like to
questions.
withdraw your question, please press star 1 again. Thank you.
Are you
Sophia
gonna put in a
Hari,
question?
you may begin your
I want to put
conference.
in a question.
Please don't.
Thank you. Good afternoon,
Whatever you're
everyone,
doing,
and
stop.
welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the first quarter of fiscal 2026.
It's going to turn out like my
With me
alert.
today from
Hi,
NVIDIA
my
are
name is
Jensen
Glenn.
Huang,
What the
President
heck
and
are you
Chief
guys
Executive
doing?
Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice
I know I
President and
can't
Chief
hear
Financial
him,
Officer.
But it sounds like
I'd
he's
like to
wearing
remind
the
you that our
black
call
leather
is
jacket.
being webcast
I can
live
hear
on
him.
NVIDIA's Investor
No, I
Relations
know, I
website.
know we can't see
The
him.
webcast will
but
be
it sounds
available
like
for
the
replay
black
until the
leather
conference
jacket.
call to discuss our financial results for the second quarter of fiscal
I
2026.
should have taken notes.
The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can't be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent.
What you going to do if I
During
do?
this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made
The
as of
SIF is
today,
right. It
May
says
28, 2025, based on information currently available to us.
I think NVIDIA had a
Except as required by law, we assume no
spell
obligation to
checker.
update any such
Should-
statements.
first quarter.
During this call, we will
2025.
discuss non-GAAP financial measures.
I don't want to hear that.
You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
I don't want to hear that.
Thank you, Toshio. We delivered another strong quarter with revenue of $44 billion, up 69% year over year,
69%.
exceeding our outlook in what proved to be a challenging operating environment.
Look at that.
Data center revenue
That
of $39 billion
looks
grew
crazy.
73% year on year. AI
I don't think I've ever
workloads
seen
have
that.
Fiscal year
transitioned
runs
strongly
differently.
to inference,
I've
and
looked-
AI
I've never
factory
seen NVIDIA
build-outs
look
are
like
driving
this after earnings
significant
report.
revenue.
All these wicks.
People don't know
Our
what they wanna do.
customers'
They don't know what they're
commitments are firm. On April 9th, the U.S. government issued new export controls on H20, our data center GPU designed specifically for the China market. We sold H20 with the approval of the previous administration. Although our H20 has been in the market for over a year and does not have a market outside of China, the new export controls on H20 did not provide a grace period to allow us to sell through our inventory. In Q1, we recognized $4.6 billion in H20 revenue, which occurred prior to April 9th, but also recognized a $4.5 billion charge as we wrote down inventory and purchase obligations tied to orders we had received prior to April 9th. We were unable to ship $2.5 billion in H20 revenue in the first quarter due to the new export controls. The $4.5 billion charge was less than what we initially anticipated as we were able to reuse certain materials. We are still evaluating our limited options to supply data center compute products compliant with the U.S. government's revised export control rules. Losing access to the China AI accelerator market, which we believe will grow to nearly $50 billion, would have a material adverse impact on our business going forward and benefit our foreign competitors in China and worldwide. Our Blackwell ramp, the fastest in our company's history, drove a 73% year-on-year increase in data center revenue. Blackwell contributed nearly 70% of data center compute revenue in the quarter, with a transition from Hopper nearly complete.
That just came out.
The introduction of GB200 NVL was a fundamental architectural change to enable data center scale workloads and to achieve the lowest cost per inference token. While these systems are complex to build, we have seen a significant improvement in manufacturing yields, and rack shipments are moving to strong rates to end customers.
So no supply issues.
GB200 NVL racks are now generally available for model builders, enterprises, and sovereign customers to develop and deploy AI. On average, major hyperscalers are each deploying nearly 1,000 NVL 72 racks, or 72,000 Blackwell GPUs per week, and are on track to further ramp output this quarter. Microsoft, for example, has already deployed tens of thousands of Blackwell GPUs and is expected to ramp to hundreds of thousands of GB200s, with OpenAI as one of its key customers. Key learnings from the GB200 ramp will allow for a smooth transition to the next phase of our product roadmap, Blackwell Ultra. Sampling of GB300 systems began earlier this month at the major CSPs, and we expect production shipments to commerce later this quarter. GB300 will leverage the same architecture, same physical footprint, and the same electrical and mechanical specifications as GB200. The GB300 drop-in design will allow CSPs to seamlessly transition their systems and manufacturing used for GB200 while maintaining high yields. B300 GPUs with 50% more HBM will deliver another 50% increase in dense FP4 inference compute performance compared to the B200. We remain committed to our annual product cadence, with our roadmap extending through 2028, tightly aligned with the multiple year planning cycles of our customers. We are witnessing a sharp jump in inference demand. OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google are seeing a step function leap in token generation. Microsoft processed over 100 trillion tokens in Q1, a 5-fold increase on a year-over-year basis. This exponential growth in Azure OpenAI is representative of strong demand for Azure AI Foundry, as well as other AI services across Microsoft's platform. Inference-serving startups are now serving models using B200, tripling their token generation rate and corresponding revenues for high-value reasoning models such as DeepSeek R1, as reported by Artificial Analysis. Nvidia Dynamo on Blackwell NVL72 turbocharges AI inference throughput by 30x for the new reasoning models sweeping the industry. Developer engagements increased, with adoption ranging from LLM providers such as Perplexity to financial services institutions such as Capital One, who reduced agentic chatbot latency by 5x with Dynamo.
Dale, that's how NVIDIA got started.
In the latest MLPerf inference results, we submitted our first results using GB200 NVL72, delivering up to 30x higher inference throughput compared to our 8 GPU H200 submission on the challenging Llama 3.1 benchmark. This feat was achieved through a combination of tripling the performance per GPU as well as 9x more GPUs, all connected on a single NVLink domain. And while Blackwell is still early in its life cycle, software optimizations have already improved its performance by 1.5x in the last month alone.
Down 5%.
We expect to continue improving the performance of Blackwell through its operational life, as we have done with Hopper and Ampere. For example, we increased the inference performance of Hopper by 4 times over 2 years. This is the benefit of NVIDIA's programmable CUDA architecture and rich ecosystem.
Oh, you done
The
did
pace
it
and
now.
scale of AI factory deployments are accelerating with nearly 100 NVIDIA-powered AI factories in flight this quarter, a twofold increase year over year, with the average number of GPUs powering each factory also doubling in the same period. And more AI factory projects are starting
now NVIDIA's
across
gonna
industries
tank, now that you
and
just
geographies.
closed your
NVIDIA's full-stack architecture is underpinning AI factory deployments as industry leaders like AT&T, BYD, Capital One, Foxconn, MediaTek, and Telenor are strategically vital sovereign clouds like those recently announced in Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, and the UAE.
There it is, Middle East.
We have a line of
That's
sight to projects requiring
We're losing
tens
China,
of
we're gonna gain the
gigawatts
Middle
of
East.
NVIDIA AI infrastructure in the not-too-distant future. The transition from generative to agentic AI capable of perceiving, reasoning, planning, and acting, will transform every industry, every company, and country. We envision AI agents as a new digital workforce capable of handling tasks ranging from customer service to complex decision-making processes. We introduced the Llama Nemotron family of open reasoning models designed to supercharge agentic AI platforms for enterprises. Built on the Llama architecture, these models are available as NIMs or NVIDIA Inference Microservices with multiple sizes to meet diverse deployment needs. Our post-training enhancements have yielded a 20% accuracy boost and a 5x increase in inference speed. Leading platform companies, including Accenture, Cadence, Deloitte, and Microsoft, are transforming work with our reasoning models. NVIDIA NeMo microservices are generally available across industries and are being leveraged by leading enterprises to build, optimize, and scale AI applications. With NeMo, Cisco increased model accuracy by 40% and improved response time by 10x in its code assistant. NASDAQ realized a 30% improvement in accuracy and response time in its AI platform's search capability.
The price is going nowhere.
And Shell's custom LLM achieved a 30% increase in accuracy when trained with NVIDIA NeMo. NeMo's parallelism techniques accelerated model training time by 20% when compared to other frameworks. We also announced a partnership with Yum Brands, the world's largest restaurant company, to bring NVIDIA AI to 500 of its restaurants this year and expanding to 61,000 restaurants over time to streamline order taking, optimize operations, and enhance service across its restaurants. For AI-powered cybersecurity, leading companies like Checkpoint, CloudStrike, and Palo Alto Networks are using NVIDIA's AI security and software stack to build, optimize, and secure agentic workflows, with CloudStrike realizing 2x faster detection triage with 50% less compute cost. Moving to networking, sequential growth in networking resumed in Q1, with revenue up 64% quarter over quarter to $5 billion. Our customers continue to leverage our platform to efficiently scale up and scale out AI factory workloads. We created the world's fastest switch, NVLink. For scale up, our NVLink compute fabric in its 5th generation offers 14x the bandwidth of PCIe Gen 5. NVLink 72 carries 130 terabytes per second of bandwidth in a single rack, equivalent to the entirety of the world's peak internet traffic. NVLink is a new growth vector and is off to a great start, with Q1 shipments exceeding $1 billion. At Computex, we announced NVLink Fusion. Hyperscale customers can now build semi-custom CCUs and accelerators that connect directly to the NVIDIA platform with NVLink. We are now enabling key partners, including ASIC providers such as MediaTek, Marvell, Alchip Technologies, and Astera Labs, as well as CPU suppliers such as Fujitsu and Qualcomm, to leverage NVLink Fusion to connect our respective ecosystems.
AST.
For scale out, our enhanced Ethernet offerings deliver the highest throughput, lowest latency networking for AI. Spectrum X posted strong sequential and year-on-year growth and is now annualizing over $8 billion in revenue. Adoption is widespread across major CSPs and consumer internet companies, including CoreWeave, Microsoft Azure, Oracle Cloud, and xAI. This quarter, we added Google Cloud and Meta to the growing list of Spectrum X customers. We introduced Spectrum X and Quantum X silicon photonics switches featuring the world's most advanced co-packaged optics. These platforms will enable next-level AI factory
John, that's not in the chip space, so I'm not going to pull that up.
Through the increasingly power efficiency by 3.5x and network resiliency by 10x, while accelerating customer time to market by 1.3x. Transitioning to a quick
NVIDIA
summary of our revenue by geography.
ASML.
China, as a percentage of our data center revenue, was slightly below our expectations and down sequentially due to H20 export licensing controls. For Q2, we expect a meaningful decrease in China data center revenue. As a reminder, while Singapore represented nearly 20% of our Q1 build revenue, as many of our large customers use Singapore for centralized invoicing, our products are almost always sold elsewhere. Note that over 99% of H100, H200, and Blackwell data center compute revenue billed to Singapore was for orders from U.S.-based customers.
That just looks horrible.
Moving to gaming and AI PCs. Gaming revenue was a record $3.8 billion, increasing 48% sequentially and 42% year-on-year. Strong adoption by gamers, creatives, and AI enthusiasts have made Blackwell our fastest ramp ever. Against a backdrop of robust demand, we greatly improved our supply and availability in Q1 and expect to continue these efforts in Q2. AI is transforming PC and creator and gamers. With a 100 million user installed base, GeForce represents the largest footprint for PC developers. This quarter, we added to our AI PC laptop offerings, including models capable of running Microsoft's Copilot+. This past quarter, we brought Blackwell architecture to mainstream gaming with its launch of GeForce RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti, starting at just $299. The RTX 5060 also debuted in laptops starting at $1,099. These systems that double the frame rate and slash latency. These GeForce RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti desktop GPUs and laptops are now available. In console gaming, the recently unveiled Nintendo Switch 2 leverages Nvidia's neural rendering and AI technologies, including next-generation custom RTX GPUs with DLSS technology, to deliver a giant leap in gaming performance.
I gave a profit target of $160.
Nintendo has shipped over 150 million Switch consoles to date, making it one of the most successful gaming systems in history.
More than the
Moving
PS,
to Pro
PlayStation?
Visualization. Revenue of $509 million was flat sequentially and up 19% year-on-year. Tariff-related uncertainty temporarily impacted Q1 systems.
There you go.
And demand for our AI workstations is strong, and we expect sequential revenue growth to resume in Q2. NVIDIA DGX Spark and Station revolutionized personal computing by putting the power of an AI supercomputer in a desktop form factor. DGX Spark delivers up to 1 petaflop of AI compute, while DGX Station offers an incredible 20 petaflops and is powered by the GB300 superchip. DGX Spark will be available in calendar Q3 and DGX Station later this year. We have deepened Omniverse's integration and adoption into some of the world's leading software platforms, including Databricks, SAP, and Schneider Electric. New Omniverse blueprints such as MEGA for at-scale robotic fleet management are being leveraged in Kion Group, Pegatron, Accenture, and other leading companies to enhance industrial operations. At Computex, we showcased Omniverse's great traction with technology manufacturing leaders, including TSMC, Quanta, Foxconn, Pegatron. Using Omniverse, TSMC saves months in work by designing fabs virtually. Foxconn accelerates thermal simulations by 150x, and Pegatron reduced assembly line defects rates by 67%. Lastly, with our automotive group, revenue was $567 million, down 1% sequentially, but up 72% year on year. Year on year growth was driven by the ramp of self-driving across a number of customers and robust end demand for NEVs. We are partnering with GM to build the next gen vehicles, factories, and robots using NVIDIA AI, simulation, and accelerated computing. And we are now in production with our full stack solution for Mercedes-Benz, starting with the new CLA, hitting roads in the next few months. We announced Isaac, Groot, and One, the world's first open, fully customizable foundation model for humanoid robots, enabling generalized reasoning and skill development. We also launched new open NVIDIA Cosmo World Foundation models. Leading companies include 1X, Agility Robots, Robotics, Figure AI, Uber, and Wabi. We've begun integrating Cosmos into their operations for synthetic data generation, while Agility Robotics, Boston Dynamics, and XPen Robotics are harnessing Isaac simulation to advance their humanoid efforts. GE Healthcare is using the new NVIDIA Isaac platform for healthcare simulation, built on NVIDIA Omniverse and using NVIDIA Cosmos. The platform speeds development of robotic imaging and surgery systems. The era of robotics is here. Billions of robots, hundreds of millions of autonomous vehicles, and hundreds of thousands of robotic factories and warehouses will be developed. All right, moving to the rest of the P&L.
So we got to look
GAAP
at
gross margins and
stocks.
non-GAAP gross margins were 60.5% and 61% respectively. Excluding the $4.5 billion charge, Q1 non-GAAP gross margins would have been 71.3, slightly above our outlook at the beginning of the quarter. Sequentially, GAAP operating expenses were up 7% and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 6%, reflecting higher compensation and employee growth. Our investments include expanding our infrastructure capabilities and AI solutions, and we plan to grow these investments throughout the fiscal year. In Q1, we returned a record $14.3 billion to shareholders in the form of share repurchases and cash dividends. Our capital return program continues to be a key element of our capital allocation strategy. Let me turn to the outlook for the second quarter.
Pretty positive. So
Total
far.
revenue is expected to be $45 billion, plus or minus 2%. We expect modest sequential growth across all of our platforms. In data center, we anticipate the continued ramp of Blackwell to be partially offset by a decline in China revenue.
No, you can't do that.
Note, our outlook reflects a loss in H20 revenue of approximately $8 billion for the second quarter.
$8 billion.
GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 71.8% and 72% respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. We expect better Blackwell profitability to drive modest sequential improvement in gross margins. We are continuing to work towards achieving gross margins in the mid-70s range late this year. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $5.7 billion and $4 billion, respectively, and we continue to expect full-year fiscal year 26 operating expense growth to be in the mid-30% range. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $450 million, excluding gains and losses from non-marketable and publicly held equity securities. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 16.5%, plus or minus 1% excluding any discrete items. Further financial details are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website, including a new financially information AI agent. Let me highlight upcoming events for the financial community. We will be at the B of A Global Technology Conference in San Francisco on June 4th, the Rosenblatt Virtual AI Summit and NASDAQ Investor Conference in London on June 10th, and GTC Paris at VivaTech on June 11th in Paris. We look forward to seeing you at these events. Our earnings call to discuss the results of our second quarter of fiscal 2026 is scheduled for August 27th.
Okay.
August 27th. Well, now let me turn it over to Jensen to make some remarks.
This is what everybody
There we go. All right. I was getting ready to say, do y'all want to leave? Because everybody's leaving.
Year.
Here we go.
Let me share my perspective on some topics we're frequently asked. On export control, China is one of the world's largest AI markets and a springboard to global success. With half of the world's AI researchers based there, the platform that wins China is positioned to lead globally. Today, however, the $50 billion China market is effectively closed to U.S. industry. The H-20 export ban ended our Hopper data center business in China. We cannot reduce Hopper further to comply. As a result, we are taking a multi-billion-dollar write-off on inventory that cannot be sold or repurposed.
All right, so it is part of
We
this
are
call.
exploring limited ways to compete, but Hopper is no longer an option. China's AI moves on with or without U.S. chips. It has the compute to train and deploy advanced models. The question is not whether China will have AI. It already does. The question is whether one of the world's largest AI markets will run on American platforms. Shielding Chinese chip makers from U.S. competition only strengthens them abroad and weakens America's position.
Yep, that's
Export
exactly
restrictions have spurred China's innovation and scale.
Oh boy.
There's the drop.
There it is.
Is not just about chips. It's about which stack the world runs on. As that stack grows to include 6G and quantum, U.S. global infrastructure leadership is at stake. The U.S. has based its policy on the assumption that China cannot make AI chips. That assumption was always questionable, and now it's clearly wrong.
Clearly
China
wrong. They can make chips. I'm telling you, don't sleep on them.
In the end, the platform that wins the AI developers wins AI. Export controls should strengthen U.S. platforms, not drive half of the world's AI talent to rivals. On DeepSeek and QN from China are among the best open source AI models. Released freely, they've gained traction across the US, Europe, and beyond. DeepSeek R1, like ChatGPT, introduced reasoning AI that produces better answers the longer it thinks.
Which is a little different than training
Reasoning AI enables step-by-step problem solving, planning, and tool use, turning models into intelligent agents. Reasoning is compute intensive, requires hundreds to thousands of times more tokens per task than previous one-shot inference. Reasoning models are driving a step function surge in inference demand. AI scaling laws remain firmly intact, not only for training, but now inference too requires massive scale compute. DeepSeek also underscores the strategic value of open source AI. When popular models are trained and optimized on US platforms, it drives usage, feedback, and continuous improvement, reinforcing American leadership across the stack. US platforms must remain the preferred platform for open source AI. That means supporting collaboration with top developers globally, including in China. America wins when models like DeepSeek and QN runs best on American infrastructure. Regarding onshore manufacturing, President Trump has outlined a bold vision to reshore advanced manufacturing, create jobs, and strengthen national security. Future plants will be highly computerized and robotics. We share this vision. TSMC is building 6 fabs and 2 advanced packaging plants in Arizona to make chips for Nvidia. Process qualification is underway, with volume production expected by year-end. SPIL and Amkor are also investing in Arizona, constructing packaging, assembly, and test facilities. In Houston, we're partnering with Foxconn to construct a 1 million square foot factory to build AI supercomputers. Wistron is building a similar plant in Fort Worth, Texas. To encourage and support these investments, we've made substantial long-term purchase commitments, a deep investment in America's AI manufacturing future. Our goal, from chip to supercomputer, built in America within a year. Each GB200 NVLink 72 racks contains 1.2 million components and weighs nearly 2 tons. No one has produced supercomputers on this scale. Our partners are doing an extraordinary job. On AI diffusion rule, President Trump rescinded the AI diffusion rule, calling it counterproductive, and proposed a new policy to promote U.S. AI tech with trusted partners. On his Middle East tour, he announced historic investments. I was honored to join him in announcing a 500 megawatt AI infrastructure project in Saudi Arabia and a 5 gigawatt AI campus in the UAE. President Trump wants U.S. tech to lead. The deals he announced are wins for America, creating jobs, advancing infrastructure, generating tax revenue, and reducing the U.S. trade deficit. The U.S. will always be Nvidia's largest market and home to the largest installed base of our infrastructure. Every nation now sees AI as core to the next industrial revolution.
That's
a new
real.
Industry that produces intelligence and essential infrastructure for every economy. Countries are racing to build national AI platforms to elevate their digital capabilities. At Computex, we announced Taiwan's first AI factory in partnership with Foxconn and the Taiwan government. Last week, I was in Sweden to launch its first national AI infrastructure. Japan, Korea, India, Canada, France, the UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, and more are now building national AI factories to empower startups, industries, and societies. Sovereign AI is a new growth engine for Nvidia. Toshiya, back to you. Thank you.
All right, I'm ready to go. That's what I wanted to hear, and I think that's what you all wanted to hear.
That was the important part.
Yep. Everybody, is that good for everybody?
At this time, I would like to remind everyone,
Or do you want to
in
listen
order
to
to ask
questions?
a question,
I don't want to listen
press
to questions.
star, then the
I
number
wanted
one
to
on
hear
your
what
telephone
Jason had to
keypad.
say. Jensen had
We'll
to
pause
say.
Changed it the
just a
second
moment
time.
to
Whatever.
Phone, Jason.
Type in the room. Was that enough? Yes or no?
He made it very clear.
Yep.
He does not agree in the chip restrictions. We're literally creating or forcing China to develop their own technology.
And they are, and I don't think it's going to be good, any good. I don't care what anybody says. China is China. China back engineers everything. They steal from everybody.
Not saying they don't.
Okay. I don't think that it's the same. Glenn, do you have a price target for NVIDIA? Yeah. I said $160.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. I had said $160. I think it's going to blow through that. I gave a conservative price target. Thanks, Joey, for making sure we had this
should hit a new high here soon.
All right. We're going to go.
We out of here?
Yeah, you guys are peeling off anyway. You know, we had a lot of people here. We had almost 300 people. I don't think we got to 300 people. We had almost 300 people.
Almost. I like it. It's a good turnout.
You got to do a call on that video. You got to.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Especially with everything going on, with tariffs and geopolitics. It was good to hear from Jason.
Jensen. Why you say the name wrong all the time?
Jensen. Me?
It's Jensen.
Fair enough.
So I know that this was impromptu, But thank you for everyone who showed up for this. I appreciate it.
It's not that impromptu. We do every NVIDIA earnings call.
Fine. Oh, yeah, I got Trending Thursday tomorrow. What am I going to talk about? I got nothing to talk about.
Probably Jason.
I'll probably talk about Jensen. All right, I'll talk about Jensen.
Thank you, guys. There'll be something to talk about.
Glad I got the alert on time. There you go. I'm glad that everyone who showed up is here.
Yes.
This may be a great retirement stock.
NVIDIA?
I believe that.
I believe that, too.
I do believe that.
I think.
Next time, bring donuts. We will stay longer. Hell no.
I might even stay longer if you brought donuts, bud.
All right, maybe the next time I'm going to go to Dunkin' Donuts, and then we'll have a virtual donut.
An AI donut?
We'll have a virtual donut for the people out there. You can sign us off, too, because I'm ready to go to Golden Corral. I'm ready to eat.
That chocolate fountain.
We don't have a chocolate fountain in ours anymore. I told you that.
How sad are you? They got rid of the chocolate fountain.
I'm not sad because all those kids was they're nasty. They're nasty.
You have fun. I'm about to go join my mom. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday to
She just bought herself a golf cart, big badass golf cart, so we're going to go cruise around on it since it stopped raining. But everybody out there, you heard what Jensen Huang had to say. He clearly felt the same commentary as Lisa Su, that these chip restrictions is having kind of a negative effect and essentially creating the Chinese chip industry out of nothing. So we'll see what happens there. But other than that, if we take a look, I mean,
you put their backs to the wall, they're going to come out like a rabid dog. And they're going to build the chips. I just don't think that they have the technology for it to be on the same level of...
Yeah, the high advanced AI chips. But they got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And we talked about
that. They
got
to steal from somebody else to make it better.
It's not just the chips; they're doing the whole ecosystem. They're going after ASML with the lithography. That was a great article.
That was a great article.
They're going after the manufacturing itself, like TSM, and the design through Huawei to go right after AMD and Nvidia. But on that note, they are still in positive territory. The market's not overreacting, so we will see how tomorrow goes.
And I screwed up because I got rid of my stock.
The short?
Yeah, I meant to put it in so it was going to close tomorrow morning at the open, but it closed it out.
Look at that! You're now down 1%,
whatever,
sir.
Oh, but what are you? Oh, down 5.75%.
I'm up today, though. It's all right.
That's all right.
I'm happy. I put 5,000 in Nvidia just before earnings. Looks like we're up about 3% as well. I did TSM, Taiwan Semi.
But if you want to look at better stocks, if you want to look at better stocks that have a better portfolio.
You know what's really good about your portfolio?
What's that?
Is that you've got Bitcoin and it's doing nothing. You got 0.25%.
It's up.
0.25%.
It's up.
You're all positive.
It's
I think
up.
all of our stocks are positive.
Now, let me see. Do you have anything negative?
Oh,
no, you don't. So both of our portfolios are on the move. And JJ says, don't underestimate them. I am underestimating China in a big way.
I am under your belief, JJ, that we should not underestimate them as far as their manufacturing.
I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean they can't make stuff. We've already figured out they're master of manufacturing.
Master of stealing stuff.
Well, whether you steal it or what, they still got it,
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, if we already gave them a bunch of chips and they already have a couple to replicate, then what does it matter giving them some more chips? They already got what they need if they're really going to replicate it. I don't know. We'll see.
Whatever.
We'll see. But the market's up. Everyone on that note, you enjoy Golden Corral.
Yep.
Enjoy my mom's birthday. Everyone else out there in VB Nation, have a great evening. And check out tomorrow, Trending Thursday with Glenn. And we'll see you tomorrow.
And don't forget to check out tonight's Ryan's video tonight.
Defense stocks. And I give a shout out to Glenn. Yeah. That's why you want them to check it out, huh?
That's pretty nice of you to do.
Well, you did a good job, man. You did a good job. Have a good night, guys.